here from Diane, and this week I'd like to show you how I made this project. Here we are with the first week of November already. Now it's getting pretty scary because we're getting close to Christmas. I was asked to do this box, this project, by a lady named Leslie on my Facebook group, and she sent me a little video on it, so I went and did some research and found this one, and this is what happens when you open the box. Because I haven't up in the air, it doesn't go very far. It's a popping cube box. Now this one says Xmas on it all the way around, and please don't look at my terrible stuff on the top there. This was my prototype and I did muff it up a little bit. Okay, she wanted the box so that she could lay one in, put some money, lay another one in, put some money. This box is actually wide enough to put about 3 into it. So if you wanted it any more than that, you would have to make the box higher. But you don't want it too tight because you need it to pop like so. And it won't pop if the box is tighter. So that's what we're making today. It's called a popping cube in a drawer. So I'm going to be using all retired products today from Stampin' Up. And we're going to start with, we're going to be using these large letters. So because I'll put the Xmas on there. So these are from about 4 years ago now, I'd say, or at least that long ago. Might be even longer. I'm going to use these lovely green dots. I've got a couple of rubber bands, which you'll need too, and I'm using these 2 punches, which are the only things that are current, which is the decorative circle punch and the 2-inch circle punch. Okay, so let me show you what you need, and there's quite a lot, so let me go through it. So we're going to need, for the cube itself, you're going to need a piece of card that measures 10.5 by 5, and then you want 4 layers, and they are 2¼ by 2¼ and then 4 pieces of designer series paper that are 4 by 4. Now I've got my letters to go on top of that. So that's my Xmas there, and this is for the, oh, that should be with the wrap. And then you'll need 2 pieces of card for your elastic hanger, which measure 2 inches by 1¼ inches. So that's the cube. For the wrap, which is what these pieces go with, you'll need a piece of card that measures 10¼ by 5½ and a piece of for your layer that is 5¼ by 3, and another piece in designer series paper that is 5 by 2¾ and that's going to go on the top there like so. Okay, so that's the wrap. Then for the drawer itself, you're going to need another piece of card that measures 9¼ by 7¼ and you'll need a piece of ribbon that is approximately 6 inches long. So what we're going to do first is we're going to drag all this lot over here, and we're going to make these hangers first, okay, so that they've got time to dry. So with our hangers, we're going to score these hangers at half, making sure I've got the correct 1 and 1½ We're going to do that on both pieces, half, 1, 1½. Pop that down there, and then we're going to fold and burnish these like so. Find my burnishing tool. So we're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to fold these pieces out so you get that sort of shape, like an M shape. So we're going to do that with the other one in half. Oops, wrong way. Back the opposite way. So we're going to go valley, mountain, valley, and then we're going to pop some glue into this middle section here, and then we're going to let them dry while we do the rest of the cube. So let's put some glue in here, and we want to make sure that we get plenty of glue in here because we don't want it to come apart when the cube is stuck together. So we're going to pop that in there like so. Give that a good burnish down, and they should sit like that. I'm doing that so that you can see it from the top. Okay, so we'll do the other one. Oh, excuse me, I've got a bit of frog in my throat today. Okie dokie. Pop the pin in the glue there for a minute. And fold that one over as well. Making sure it's down nice and firm. If you squeeze any glue out, just make sure you get rid of it. Okay, so that's our pieces for our hanger. Now they might not look like much at the moment, but they will work when we get that far. Excuse me. Okay. Whoops, that goes with that. So now we're going to work on our cube. So we're going to bring in our scoreboard again. And we're going to score our cube piece on the long side at 2.5. Making sure we use the small end of our tool. 5. 7.5. And 10. We're going to turn it onto the short side and we're going to score this at 1.25 all the way down, and 3 3/4. Just making sure I have that in the right place. Okay, that now what we're going to do is we are going to turn this top one up. Oh no, we're not going to turn that top one over. Crazy person here. Crazy person watching. Alright, we're going to use our pencil and we're going to mark at 1.25 inch, 3 3/4 inch, 6 1/4 inch, and 8 3/4 inch. And now we're going to do the same on the other end. So we're now going to turn that piece in. That's the bit we've got turning. The end piece there out of the way. So we can pop this back in here and mark it the same again. 1.25, 3 3/4, 6 1/4, and 8 3/4. Okay, once we've done that, we can move our board out of the way, but we need our score tool and a ruler, and we're going to score in each one of these on the diagonals from the corner up to that mark. Now because I've cut all of these pieces out, I've put in here a C so I know that this was the cube piece. So if you wish to do that, just put it into roughly in the middle so that when you put your designer series paper on it, it is covered up, or you will have to rub it out with your pencil if you put it on with a pencil. Dearie me. Now I'm going to turn my page so I can see what I'm doing off, because I did do all of these and then I needed to type it out so I knew where I was going. And this is one of those jobs you can't do off screen. So if this is too much for you, don't forget you can always zoom past me scoring lines. Okay, so I've done all my scoring on my board's gone all the way up there. So as now you can see that we have all these triangles on the top and the bottom. So what we're going to do next is we're going to actually put an X in some of these. So we need this small piece here on the side, this piece that we've folded under, and we're going to put an X in the first top one, the second top one, the fourth top one, the fifth top one, the sixth top one, the 8th top one and that piece on the end. So you've got an X, you've missed one. X, an X, an X, so there's 3 in a row. You've missed one and the X in the end. And then we're going to correspond that down to the bottom. So we've got an X in the first of these pieces on the side and an X in the next triangle, this little piece of triangle. Miss this triangle. We're going to put an X in this triangle and that triangle and this triangle. We're going to miss this one and we're going to put one in this one and this little piece on the end. Now the whole idea of that is just so that you know where you are actually going to cut away. So what we're going to do next is we're actually going to cut all those ones with the X's in them away. So we'll start at this end, so we know we're going to cut that little piece away, and we know we're going to cut this little triangle here away. We're going to keep that triangle, but the other half of that here, we're going to cut that away. Cut that away, come on, cut away, there we go. We're now going to cut both of these ones away. We're going to keep the next one on this side. We're going to cut this one away. And then we're going to cut this end one away. Like so. So our box will look like this on this end. And then we're going to turn it over and we're going to do exactly the same. So we know we're going to cut this one away. We're going to cut the first triangle on this one. We're going to cut both these triangles away on this one. So we might as well go straight across. Whoops. Then we're going to cut down this middle of that one and cut this small triangle away. We're going to cut this small triangle away here and this end bit. So I'm going to do that all in one. So there we go. So our cube now will look like this. Alright, so we've got our small piece, we've got our big triangles and a little one on the end, no triangles here, big triangle and a little one here, and none with this one. So now we're going to fold and burnish all of these score lines. Well, we are, if we can turn that around. It's got a bit sticky on that one. Making sure that they're all nice and firm, including those little ones. I have a tool that keeps rolling into the way here. Go over there. That's better. Okay, so we're doing the other end. And that one up there too. Okay, so we've got our box like this, and now we're going to actually put our pieces of designer series paper and the layer onto them. So I'm going to do these. I should have done a couple of them beforehand, but I didn't. Silly me. I'm going to pop them all onto the thing first. And if you get a little bit of glue out the bottom, just make sure that you clean it off. You could use double-sided tape on with the foil paper. It sometimes makes it a little bit easier. Some people find that because it's actually quicker. So but it doesn't give you any time to wiggle it into place. That's the part I don't like about using double-sided tape unless I really have to. Okay, so we've got those on and we're going to glue these now onto our cube. Now I'm not going to put my letters on until we've finished, so that I know that I've got them up the correct way. As I say, that's just me, but if you wanted to put your letters on now, that's quite okay. I will wait until this has dried nicely. And turn that over and give them a nice wipe down. Okay, so that's those. So you don't have to put these on if you don't want to, but you know, we're going to put the Xmas in here like so. But I will do that. Actually, I will do that now. Yes, I will do that now. So that I know that they'll dry nicely as well before we want to pop the cube. Come on, I want to get that in somewhere where I'm not going to need to put a bit of glue. Now, as I say, you don't need to put these letters on if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. I just found that it looks nice, that's all. I've got that around the wrong way, haven't I? Oh dearie. I've got such a frog in my throat today. Just hope I'm not coming down with a summer cold. Probably because we get one really warm day and then one cool day. You can't make up its mind one way or the other. Okay, so now I've got my Xmas written on there. Let me just wipe them down nicely as well. Okay, so we've got our front of our cube done, and we're going to bring in our hangers now. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to cut a little notch in the top here. Not a very big one. Like so, and the same in the bottom. So we're going to just chop that up either side and across. So we have a hanger looking like so now. Oh, let's move that out of the way so you can see it. Like so, through that piece that has actually been glued together. So let's do that again on the other one. So we're going to cut up here and across, and the same with the other end. So we have both our hangers done like so. Let's move those bits out of the way. I don't know where the other bit went. Oh, there it is. Let's get rid of those. And we're going to turn this over. Now at this stage it doesn't matter whether it's upside down or up the right way. And we're going to glue one of them here and the other one here. So on this side where there's nothing, you're going to glue it so that this join here, where it joins at the thing, at the thing down the middle there, is going to be over the score line. And once again, you want to make sure that you've got enough glue on there, or you would need to use, if you're going to use tape, red liner tape. I have a fly flying around me here, annoying me. So that your hanger now looks like so. Can you see that on the side here? So that these pieces here, where you're going to hang your elastic band, are there. And the other one is going to go not on the end with the flap, the next one in. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. And you're going to just eyeball it, that is centre line. So again, it's got to be over that join, that score line. But you can eyeball it so that it's the same height as the other one. Or you can just, if you feel like you want to bring it together and check, that's fine. I'm happy with that. I'm going to make sure they're down nice and tight. And now I'm going to just pop that on one side for a bit so that these pieces here dry completely while we work on the next section. So now we're going to work on the wrap section. Let me pop my pin in my glue again. And we're going to bring in our scoreboard once again. And then we're going to score this on the long side at 1 1/4. Oh, actually that should have been 1 1/2. 1 1/2, sorry. That's fine because I know I've muffed that one up, but you know what? That's going to be underneath, you won't notice it. 2 5/8. 5 7/8. I couldn't even read that. 5 7/8. 4, 5, 6, 7/8. Can't even think straight today. And 7 inches. So this section here is going to be the top. And we're going to pop this out of the way again. And we're going to fold and burnish all these score lines down. Now I'm sure you don't really need to have this piece quite as wide as this, but you want it to be fairly sturdy when you wrapped it over, because of the fact that you don't want this to fall apart. So that's why you've got the 1 1/2 inch section here, which we're going to now glue down. We're going to pop. So as I said, I did put the first score line in the wrong place. It's 1 1/2, 2 5/8, 5 7/8, and 7 inches. So we've got that down nice and tight like so, and that's our box. And we know that's the bottom, which makes this piece here the top. So let's put our layers on the top of this one. This is such pretty paper. I do hate it when they make such pretty paper and then I don't want to use it. That's my problem. I love it and I think, oh, but then what are you going to do with it? You can't keep keeping things. That is why it's been a year of using a lot of retired papers. Okay, so we pop that on the top like so. Go. I'm not going to pop this on yet because I'm not sure exactly where I'm going to put it, but I will actually glue these two pieces together so that they've got time to dry. Now this was done in real gold. This was rose gold, and it was really horrid. It was absolutely really horrible, and I thought, ooh, I don't like that, so I did another one. Okay, so we'll pop that on the side. That's our wrap done. Okay, so now we're going to work on our box, our drawer. Whoops, let me turn these over. And we don't need this piece for a moment. We need just this piece, and we're going to do some more scoring. Okay, so we're going to score on the long side at 1 inch, 2 inches, 7 1/4 inches, and 8 1/4 inches. Or you can turn it around and do it at 1 and 2 again. And then we're going to turn it onto the short side, and we're going to score this at 1 inch, at 2 inch, 5 1/4 inches, and 6 1/4 inches. Or once again, you could turn it around and score it at 1 and 2. That's all the scoring we're going to do. Now we've got all our scoring done. So we're going to, before we fold and burnish this, I'm going to actually cut this. So what we need to do is we need to remove these 3 squares on all 3 of 4 corners. So we need to cut down, remove those 2 squares there, and this 1 square here. We're going to do that on all 4 corners. So 2 squares and 1 square. So we've got 1 square left out of the 4. Once again, 2 squares and corner 1 out. Oops, come on, cut off. There we go. So we've got our piece that looks like this now, with 4 like steps on each corner. Now we're going to go and cut down this one, and we're going to wedge it on both sides. Cut down this one and wedge it on both sides. Whoops, we need to make sure that score line's off. That's better. Turn it around, and we're going to do the same again. And this one, and we're going to do this one as well. Oh, this one I cutting on a funny angle there. There we go. There we go. Got it. Okay, so once we've got rid of those, what we're going to do next is we're going to bring in our hole punch. And I'm going to just trim that one back, otherwise it won't fit. Make sure that you've got no score lines showing on these long pieces. Let's just double check this end. I don't like the looks of them, some of them. I didn't cut very straight on that one. Okay, there we go. Alright, so on one end, it doesn't matter which end, we're going to use a hole punch, and we're going to punch a hole in this section here, this section. Not the first one, the second one. So I'm going to bring in my hole punch, and I'm using the 1/8 punch. Let me squish that down, and I need to pull this back because we need to have them fairly close to the middle, but not right in the middle, so maybe about there. So while that's stuck there, let's put that, get that off of there. I'm going to just bring this in so that when I turn it around the other way, it will be the same distance. There we go. Let's pop that out of the way now. And then we can fold and burnish all these score lines. Now you might think, why have we got double? You really need it to give the box stability. Excuse me, I had a bit of glue stuck on my finger. Alright, now we're going to bring in our piece of ribbon, and we need some double-sided tape or a bit of just sticky tape. Now I've got some red liner tape because it's nice and firm, and I'm going to pop my end through each one of these holes. Now we don't want it way big, so we can pop that down like so. Put some red liner tape across the top of that. Come on, get over there. Now if you want to use that tape, you can, but I'm not going to. I'm not going to try and take the top off both pieces. I'll take it off the second piece when I'm ready to glue that down, but not the first one that I put across there. Okay, let's pop that glue out of the way. Now we're going to actually glue our box up. So we're going to glue these tabs and bring them over to form the box shape. Once again, you want to make sure you've got enough glue so that it sticks nicely and we get a lovely corner on our box here. I want to do that on all four corners. I'm also going to pull that top piece of tape, release tape off, the top one. Well, I am if I can get it off. Come on. I'm really not having much luck here, am I? Can't get the tape off. I really don't. That's one of the reasons I don't actually like red liner tape much, for the simple fact that I have so much trouble with it. Not everybody does. I will say that. Not everybody has as much trouble with it as I do. And then one tab. And bring that one around her. Once we've done that, we're going to start going around again. So we will pull these out of the way so that we are going to pop some glue along the edge of this one here. So that's the top one. And fold it in. And give it a good squish down with our foam folder. And we're going to work right around the box the same. Pushing that one in. And pushing that down nice and firm with our bone folder. Again. Push that one down, nice and firm. And then the last one. Okay, once we've done that, let's pop the glue pin in my glue for a second. Day. We have our box, our drawer finished. Now if you wanted to line that with a bit more designer series paper, you can. That's fine, but I'm not going to, so I'm just going to pop my drawer inside my box like so. And then I can work out where that's going to go, because I wanted to know which side I was going to put that on. If you wanted to open that side, that's fine. There's no right or wrong. I need some dimensionals. Oops, come off of there. That's it. I'm going to pop that in the middle like so, and I'll just use some of these gems to finish off this with. I'll just use these smaller ones. Like so. Okay, so that's our box wrap and our drawer done. We can now throw it on the floor. That was clever, wasn't it? Oh. Okay, we can now go back to our box. Oh my goodness, I'm just about falling on the floor myself. We can go back to our cube now. Sorry, not our box, our cube. And we're going to... I'm just turning the page again, sorry. We're going to now bring these up, and we're going to glue these sections, this section here, to that half of the triangle. So let's make sure that's nice and firmly down, and we're going to pop some glue on that triangle. And then we're going to bring this up so that it comes across like so. Once we've done that, we will then tighten that one down, and we will do exactly the same on the other side. So we're going to bring that one across so it's on there. So we're putting some glue on this small triangle that we didn't cut away. I'm going to pull this around in a circle in a minute. Not doing really well there, am I? And then we will bring this one over to sit on top of it like so, so that it matches up along that score line. This is where I went hoo-ha, and I didn't do them properly. Okay, so once we've done that, we're going to do exactly the same on the other end. We're going to glue this small one again. And we're going to bring this one across so that it matches up with that one. And then we're going to do this one. Excuse me if my head is in the way a minute. I'm trying to do this so that you can see what I'm doing off. And once again, we're going to bring that one across so that it matches up across that top bit. Come on, go right there. And once you're happy with where it is, we're going to pop that down with a bit of force with our bone folder, so that now it looks a bit like a cradle. This is where it gets a little bit difficult. Now you want a rubber band that is going to be just over half the width, the length, sorry, of your box. So this box is now about 5 inches long, like so. So my rubber band is about 3, which is fine. So what we're going to do next is we're going to hook our rubber band onto the hook at one end, like so. Can you see that? And now very carefully, because this is going to close up as we go, we're going to bring this down and we're going to hook it onto the other piece. Now this is probably actually the hardest part of this whole project, is getting that over there so that the box will close together like so. And it has, so that's good. We're going to pop some glue along this piece here, this tab, and I'm going to pop the pin in my glue for a minute because we're going to sit here for a second. Oh, come on, glue, get the pin in the glue, go in there, that's it. And we're going to pop that piece inside so that it sits onto that bit there. To keep that drying, what we're going to do next is we're actually going to fold the box. You'll find which way it will fold. It will go one way or the other, and we want to push these bits inwards, top and bottom. Once we've done that, we can then push that down nicely, and we're going to, I've just got a bit of glue on there, look at that, oh dearie me. Let me use my clothes just to clip that because I had it on my fingers. We're going to hold that down just for a few seconds. So that it sticks along this edge here, this looks where we pushed it together. And this might sound silly, but you need about 2 minutes for that to stick nicely. So we're just going to sit here for a second and let that do that. And when it's just done, there we go. See, so these pieces need to push inwards, top and bottom. And our box will then, and it will only fold one way, so it won't fold that way. If it won't fold, don't push it. It's this way. So once we've done that, we can pop our popping tube, which is now ready to go into the box, like so. And once it's ready, we can just pop it out like that. How gorgeous is that? It's just absolutely gorgeous, and as I say, it won't fold, it'll only fold the one way. So that's our project. Thank you, Leslie, for proposing it. Now I had a bigger rubber band. You want a fairly sturdy rubber band. If you've only got really large ones, you can always double it up, but you need a decent rubber band, and not one that's, when you do this, it's now double the size. So that's our box. I hope you've enjoyed it. Whoops, there we go, that one flipped really well. I hope you've enjoyed them. It was a bit of a longer video than I normally do, but I just think it was a lovely idea. I think that I will be making a couple of these for Christmas. I might even give one to somebody we all know very well. Okie dokie. So if you would like the written tutorial for this, head to down here on the bottom and you'll see the link to Die Stamp for stamping, crafting and tutorials on my Facebook group. There you do have to join. It's free to join, and you will get the written tutorial. The written tutorial goes live with the photographs on the same day as the YouTube video. So if you see this, a week or a month or even a couple of years down the track from when it I originally put it up there, you can actually look at the date and go back to my Facebook group, and it will be on the same date. So it'll be in the files by then. So I hope you've enjoyed that. Please give me a thumbs up if you have. Sorry it's a bit long-winded today, but it's one of those projects that needs to be a little bit that way. And I will see you again next week. Bye for now.